Welcome to Resource PNG. From humble beginnings in 1929, Oil Search has grown to be Papua New Guinea's largest oil producer, private investor, and employer. And for good reason too. Over 90% of its assets are in Papua New Guinea, where it operates all the country's producing oil fields, holds a 23% interest in the proposed Papua LNG project, and has a 29% interest in the PNG LNG project. This world-class liquefied natural gas development, which delivered its first LNG sales in May 2014, has quadrupled Oil Search's production and transformed the company into a major LNG exporter. But the company is more than just oil and gas. We spoke to Oil Search General Manager, External Affairs, Willie Kupo. It's a pleasure to be joined by Oil Search General Manager, Stakeholder Engagement, Mr. Willie Kupo. It's always a pleasure to have you on Resource PNG. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for accepting the invitation. First of all, sir, you did a presentation on Oil Search's engagement with the government through this public-private partnership. Can you just explain what you said to the participants?
Thank you for inviting me along. Basically, what we try to explain is that there is significant money derived from the project development that goes into provincial government and local governments, they sometimes, or in most cases, don't have the capacity to be able to deliver services into the rural areas. And so what we're trying to do is to basically collaborate with them in a partnership to assist in documenting their visions into a 5-year development plan, and then basically assist in collaborating capacity building and delivery of those projects in the project area that we live in. And I think what I'm trying to say to the companies are that they have the capacity to. They go into remote areas and they have everything they need to develop those things. And if they can assist the local level governments and whole districts within the project area that they work in, and they could be able to help the local governments and districts to deliver some of those projects quite effectively.
Oil Search has been around for a very long time. It is one of our main employers here in Papua New Guinea. Is this just another demonstration of the company's continued commitment to the country?
Absolutely correct. It is our commitment, and we've been around long, and we want to stay long in this country, and we have to look after our neighbors. We have to work with them. We have started a Oil Search Foundation that its main driver at the moment is providing health services to the project area that we work in, but at the same time we want to assist with the district, the state's commitment to establish district development authorities, which basically its fundamental objective is to deliver services to its people, and we are happy to assist deliver the state's quest to bring services to the community.
During your presentation, you highlighted 2 projects in particular, which are being constructed in Mosby, the Marea Haus development and the National Football Stadium. Can you just give us an update on where these projects are now?
The state asked us to assist with 2 of the major infrastructure in Port Moresby, the Marea Haus. That's about 90% complete, should be ready for occupancy in January. We're shooting for December, but I think January is probably been a comfortable date for the state, hand over to the state to move in. It's been renovated and has put in modern facilities, and it looks great, and we are proud to do that. We also assisted in the renovation of Roy Robson Novel, and so that should be available in 2016 as well. So it's almost complete.
In your role, you deal with the community with people at the community level. What will be your focus in 2016?
In my new role, Our focus right now is we have got two projects that we are helping our partners to deliver. That's the PNG project, which is run by ExxonMobil. So I've been helping Exxon in the state to bring that on, bring the landowners together for the forum. So I've been working with them. So we are hopefully planning to have a forum in December. And the other project that I've kind of assisted on and off and be more concentrating in 2016 is the Antelope project run by Total. So I'll be working mainly on those two projects. But in terms of back in the communities, the oil prices kind of set some of our programs back, but we will continue to deliver tax credit projects that we've got on the drawing board, and we'll continue to work with the communities on the business development and other programs that we are working on. Currently, Oilsearch is spending well over $1 million kina in relief supplies, assisting those who are affected by drought in the project area at the moment. So 2016, those are the two projects that I will be mainly concentrating on.
On that note, Mr. Kupo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're watching Resource PNG. After the break, Marea Haus finally completed. That's coming up next on Resource PNG. Welcome back to Resource PNG. Now, in recent years, the term public-private partnership has become commonplace within the resource sector. In many project areas, developers of projects usually take the lead in providing much-needed services, including health and education. One such company, Oilsearch, has taken this to another level. The company recently completed a landmark project, the redevelopment of Marea Haus, more commonly known as Pineapple Building, in Port Moresby. This was all achieved through the National Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme. Oilsearch Limited created a piece of history on January the 28th, 2016, with the company officially handing over a redeveloped Marea Haus back to the national government. The building was renovated and given a new lease of life through the National Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme, and one of only two major infrastructures to see changes under this government program. Oilsearch Executive General Manager, Stakeholder Engagement, Geria Aupi, had the honour of handing over the keys of the completed building to Prime Minister Peter O'Neill.
Now the Marea Haus has been transformed into an incredibly useful space. It is indeed a proud moment for us all to be here today in this modern refurbished office, which comprises 12 levels, 9 of which are offices made up of open-plan modern offices, executive office, reception areas, meeting and conference rooms. The building also boasts special features such as on-site parking for 200 plus cars and backup systems both for power and water. This is an occasion of great significance in many ways. It is significant because of the cooperation of many organizations and individuals who have made the refurbishment possible. The national government, local authorities, numerous contractors, and for Oilsearch, the very first major project to manage in the nation's capital. In 2013, the government appointed Oilsearch as project manager for the refurbishment of this iconic Port Moresby building, which was known as Pineapple Building. That has fallen derelict. So the task was a big one, and its refurbishment was the flagship project under National Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme. The government introduced the National Infrastructure Tax Credit Scheme bill to cater for the refurbishment of Marea Haus and also for the redevelopment of Lloyd Robson Oval, now renamed the National Football Stadium. Both projects have been managed by Oilsearch under the tax credit scheme. Oilsearch is very proud to officially hand over the Marea Haus building to the Department of Prime Minister and NEC. Oil Search is PNG's largest company and investor and has built a very successful business in this country. We recognize that a key element of our success has been our relationship with our communities and government, and also our ability to aid social development in PNG and partner with government to deliver critical infrastructure and services. Leveraging the respective skills of government and the private sector in true public-private partnership is a very effective way of delivering social development and infrastructure, while also at the same time helping meet community expectations. As a PNG company, we believe we have an obligation to help government meet these expectations and put something back into the communities in which we work. This is why we continue to build infrastructure, roads, carry out health programs in partnership with the relevant governments, agencies, and actively promote development of sustainable power options for communities around PNG. This promotes good relationship with our communities and also a stable operating and investment environment in which we can continue to grow. It just must make good business sense as well as being socially responsible. Using the company's construction experience and project management expertise, we were able to align the project to refurbish the Marea Haus with the agreed time and budget.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill was indeed pleased with the new look building and commended all involved in bringing a new lease of life to Marea Haus, adding that the project was another example of a successful public-private partnership.
Our nationhood began in this building, and it was run down for many, many years. But today is not the day for us to blame people. It is the day for us to celebrate the emergence of an iconic building for our nation and where our seat of government has been for many, many years. In fact, every year the rental bill for government continues to increase. Last year and this year alone, 250 million kina a year we pay, that is in Port Moresby alone. With that kind of money, we can build one new building every year without fail. So when we took government, we want to reduce this bill and, of course, save some money, which we can use to deliver other government services. And with the opening of these two buildings, my calculation is that we will save up to 50 million kina a year. With that kind of money, we are trying to bring everybody back to Waigani and all the public servants working from here. Waigani has been planned as the seat of government for our country for many, many years. Unfortunately, we have failed to deliver. But today is the beginning of delivery of that seat of government for our people that they truly deserve.
The transformation of Marea Haus is another demonstration of Oil Search's commitment to working together with the government in improving key infrastructure, which can go a long way in improving the services Papua New Guineans deserve. And with the new look building, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill also announced a proposed name change to honor someone who has contributed a lot to the country over more than 30 years in various capacities within the public service.
Marea Haus, as we all know it, the Pineapple Building, has got a new lease of life. As such, it is my proposal to put to Cabinet over the next few days that we will rename this building as well. And I think it's more fitting to rename the building to those who make the most contribution to our nation's building. Very distinguished service to our country. Very honorable service to our country. And it is with this, gives me great honor today to rename Marea Haus Se Mana Supe Haus, our retiring. As we all know, sadly, Se Mana Supe is retiring in February, but he has given 3 decades of distinguished services to our country. Every Papua New Guinean should be very proud that we have caliber of people like Se Mana Supe serving our country, and we all should aspire to follow their footsteps.
You're watching Resource PNG. Coming up, Newcrest Mining and their operations in PNG. All that after these messages. Welcome back to Resource PNG. 2015 has been a difficult time for the mining industry in Papua New Guinea. World metal prices have dropped drastically, affecting operations in many parts of the country. For Newcrest Mining, 2015 has also had its fair share of unique challenges. Disagreements between parties from its Lihir operations led to a temporary halt in operations. However, the company remains positive it can withstand the current market conditions. Resource PNG spoke to Newcrest PNG Country Manager Peter Aitzi at the recent Mining and Petroleum Conference. And we're delighted to have the Newcrest Country Manager for PNG, Mr. Peter Aitzi, joining us here on Resource PNG. Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us along.
2015 has been an eventful year for Newcrest Mining. Ups and downs. In a nutshell, can you explain the year that has been for Newcrest?
Look, Mariba, I think the year has been a difficult one. There's been a lot of work gone into Lihir in terms of its operations, and primarily it's just to drive greater efficiencies within the Lihir operations as a response to the global downturn in the gold price.
This year, Lihir has produced over 600,000 ounces of gold since production commenced in 1997. What is that in monetary value? Would you put a figure on that?
Look, to be honest with you, probably couldn't give you an actual figure as such. Our targets are based around that annual production level. Last year was 688,000 ounces. This year, I think we're targeting 770,000 ounces to 850,000 ounces. So really, it's our focus is on driving those ounces and minimising the costs within our operations, and that hopefully then provides the margin within the gold price that we sell at to determine our profit.
So despite the low gold prices at the moment, operations are still stable for Newcrest?
Look, they are, but as I said, there's a lot of work that goes into that. Lihir is still a high-cost operation for us when you compare it against the other assets within our company, and as a result, it needs continual focus to continue to drive and manage those costs within the business.
You did have some landowner issues earlier on this year. I understand they've been worked through more community engagement by the Newcrest management and all stakeholders on Lihir. How does this translate into the situation on the ground at the moment?
Look, I think we're right in saying that the relationship is improving, and as with all the relationships, it needs to be continued to be worked on. So we have a good engagement with the provincial government, Sir Julius and the New Ireland provincial government. We have a good relationship with the Lamala, which is the Lihir local landowner representative body, and that relationship we continue to work with them to ensure that we understand their issues, and we work together to continue to improve the kind of relationship that we have that can underpin the success of the mine. But I think, if I may be probably right in saying that, I think there's a level of maturity within these groups now, and they understand that given the difficulties that the global market is facing, it's really incumbent on us to all work together so that as a result of our efforts we can position Lihir to be a long-term and sustainable operation, and as a result continue to generate the kind of benefits that are flowing down to these stakeholders.
In your presentation, you also mentioned about the operations at Hidden Valley and Wafi-Golpu, which is the next big project according to many. How excited is Newcrest about the Wafi-Golpu project?
Look, I think there's an opportunity there, but there's still, once again, a lot of work to be done. There's a tremendous amount of capital that's required to invest in the development of the mine. There's also the landowner issues that need to be dealt with in partnership with the government. So while there's promise there's still a lot of work to be done. We're in the exploration stage still, so there's a significant amount of money still to be invested to take us to a point where a decision to mine is made. In order for us to get there, once again, it requires all those stakeholders, government, landowners and the developer, to work very closely together.
Low gold prices, but as you've mentioned in your presentation, Newcrest is committed to PNG. PNG is at the heart of Newcrest operations globally. What is the next big thing after Wafi-Golpu?
Well, you keep exploring, and I think you'll find we have a few exploration sites in PNG. Some of them around our existing mines, but we continue to look for other areas that show potential. And as our CEO has said, I mean, our real focus for growth is about getting into these greenfield exploration sites and developing them to a point where we can take them into production. And really, that's the focus of the organisation.
You're obviously giving back to the community. The tax credit scheme has been a success story. Can you just explain a bit about that?
Yeah, Mariba, we worked hard with the New Ireland provincial government. With Sir Julius and the administration, we've established a steering committee, and that steering committee basically considers the district plans and the projects that are identified through the district planning process. And they then, through the priorities of the province and the national government, we start to identify what projects can be funded during through each successive financial year. So the focus for this current round is on projects that address education, health, and some major infrastructure such as roads. So I'm happy to report that that arrangement has proven successful, and we're now implementing. We're in the implementing process of delivering those projects. We've completed the sealing of the Matanai roads. We've just completed the sealing of the Kavang Noosa Parade and some of the roads in Kavang town itself, and we've expended close to 36.8 million kina in delivering improvements to schools, new buildings, new dormitories, new classrooms. So it's really, it's exciting for us because it provides us an opportunity to make some real impact into our host community.
The next 12 months, what will be the focus of Newcrest in PNG?
Well, I think you'll find the focus will be on Lihir and driving those improvements and embedding them into the organisation, so that, in a sense, we can fully realise the value that Lihir holds for the organisation. The other focus is clearly on Wafi Golpu, and once again engaging with our partners, the government and the landowner community, to advance the exploration of Wafi to a point where we can make a decision to develop.
Engaging with the community has been a key aspect of Newcrest's Lihir operations, and towards the end of 2015, the company handed over new infrastructure to the local community, signifying their commitment to improving the standard of education on the island. Lihir Secondary School were the proud recipients of a new boys' dormitory. On hand to receive these new facilities were New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan, together with Mining Minister Byron Chan.
Wonderful building and secondary school.
With this new approach of continuous community engagement, Newcrest Mining remains positive for financial success in the coming months. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Resource PNG. If you'd like to contribute to the program, get in touch with us via email on resourcepng@mtv.com.pg. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for Resource PNG. To view this edition again, you can log on to www.mtv.com.pg, where you can find a link to the Resource PNG page. We look forward to your company same time next week on Resource PNG. Bye for now.